The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys!
This is Mick Shots.
Streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app.
Now, here are Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
I feel like that we need to play Stampede. The Cowboys victory. Yes.
Yeah.
You know why? No.
Just for me. Yeah.
No, it's for me. Because I found a parking space.
Hey, man, when you have the most popular team in the world,
There's a lot more people out here at the
facility
Star.
like the Star.
Uh-huh.
Everybody's coming or going.
Well, Tuesday's a busy work day here,
And
apparently.
see, Tuesday,
Yeah.
busy work day.
Not everybody works on Monday or Friday.
That's
right. It's
Tuesday's the slowest day in the world.
Yeah, but it's for other people working in the building here, outside the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not a busy work day for Cowboys players today.
No, it's
It
not.
is an off day for Cowboys players, but it is a busy day as far as the buzz around this team. Don't you know, Everson Walls? Welcome back to Everson.
Thank you, sir.
We missed you yesterday.
Oh, man, I missed you guys, too.
What did you think of the game?
I loved it. I loved it. And, you know, it's typical of NFL games from a team headed up versus a team headed down. You know, they came in with a great game plan. I'm talking about the Colts. I really did. I thought they came in with a great game plan. They did what they were good at. They ran that ball. And I was kind of proud of our defense. Yes, we gave up a lot of running yards, but we were never threatened. I never saw us panicking on the field, and I think we were always poised to make the plays to stop their drives.
Yeah, because if they didn't hand them those easy scoring opportunities, they would have never scored.
And we handed them a couple of more.
Yeah.
But they didn't. They couldn't captivate on it because we are balling like we're balling defensively. I see no panic in this team. You know, last year we were panicking because there were certain teams that didn't just come in here and surprise us. They came in here and crushed us.
Denver?
Yeah, I can't get that out of my head. I'm sorry. But that, to me, the Denver game was typical of how this team was. And, you know, being insensitive, front runners. Defensively, we were front runners. That is not this team. That is not this defense this year. We give up yards, but it's not in chunks. And we always seem to be able to make the play to get us off the field.
There you go.
Did the Cowboys really blow out the Colts?
Did they really blow them out for one quarter?
Yeah. One quarter.
Yeah.
33-0 in the fourth quarter. It was
2-point game.
21-19 through three quarters.
Yeah. But that 21-19, I thought we were still in control. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a 21-0.
But it wasn't.
Hanging on.
It didn't look like this is going to be 54-19.
Now that it isn't. I don't know where the hell that came from. But that's what happens when they exhaust all efforts. And by that time, the cup is empty.
Okay, let me put it in this context. Did you see the Ohio State-Michigan game? Mm-hmm. And everyone's talking about how Michigan blew out Ohio State. I mean, and they did in the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter of that game, it was a no contest. It was the Ohio State-Michigan equivalent of a 33-0 Cowboys onslaught against the Colts. Okay, but Ohio State had the lead at halftime of that game.
Yeah.
And it was a close game all the way to the end of the third quarter. And so people were talking about, well, Ohio State doesn't deserve to be in the playoff because they just got humiliated by Michigan. They got humiliated for one quarter against Michigan.
Those are the people that don't watch the games.
That's right.
But
Same thing.
I think what you see as a guy that, you know, you can see the doom and gloom coming because Ohio State still, they couldn't stop what Michigan was good at that day. And that was the big plays. And I think Michigan knew they could make those big plays all day long.
It's happened to a certain extent with Southern Cal in Utah. Southern Cal got off to, it was what?
They were 14-0 to start the game.
What the hell?
It was like 17-3 or something.
Yeah, it was 17-3 is what it was.
And I was
17-17.
going, do I want to watch this? And then as I did, it's like, yeah, I want to watch it.
It flipped. Yeah, and so when it relates to the Cowboys, and we've got enough of a track record of this team now, and this isn't the first time that they've had a fourth quarter onslaught and just. And now they've got 3 of the last 5 games, so they've scored 40 or more points, and some of that is defense as well. But
a lot of it.
Yeah, but it's from a coaching standpoint, especially when you're facing a 1-10-1 Texans team this week, and then Jacksonville the following week. I think you make every point in the world that this was a 21-19 game in the third quarter. Right. This wasn't the blowout that everybody is talking about.
At home.
Yeah.
If you're away from home,
you got to keep it in context.
Quarter?
You have to keep it in context as a team to make sure they don't get the big head that, and start listening to everybody who's saying, "Oh man, what a."
Not to dismiss Houston at all, but what really scares me is when you're on the road. Mm-hmm. How do you perform on the road in that fourth quarter? Because I'd be surprised if Jacksonville lets us go in there and just push them out all over the place. They would fight like college kids. Mm-hmm. They would fight like in a college game to where anything can happen. That kind of environment.
And by the way, Jacksonville had the same kind of game where they lost to Detroit 40-14
that's right.
this week.
And so
on the road for Jacksonville. It wasn't at Jacksonville.
When they get home, it's crazy out there.
Yeah.
And so we need to be, as a team, we need to be poised enough to where, okay, this was a game at home. When we go on the road, we put those same ingredients in there. How does that fourth quarter play out on the road versus a younger quarterback and a more dynamic offense?
And this gets a little bit inflated by this last fourth quarter, right? But I just had this notion, and I looked. In the second half, the Cowboys have outscored their opponents 190-82. Mm-hmm. 190-82. And they've outscored their opponent in every quarter except the second, when it's a 90-90 tie. Go figure, right? So, it's pretty remarkable. And then the only unfortunate part of this is in overtime they got outscored 3-0. Otherwise, you're looking at a 10-2 team right now. Mm-hmm. So they've done something right. So no one can come in and say they don't know how to make halftime adjustments.
Yeah.
Right?
And we seem to come out of halftime with momentum, not just the knowledge.
If it's not the third quarter, it ends up being the fourth quarter.
And we just lay on them. I remember being with the Giants, and I heard Parsons say something like, people are just afraid of us. He said they're really afraid of us. I could see that in New York. First of all, they weren't afraid of me. They were afraid of those big old fools in front seven. And I could see that they were afraid of them. And so we were never in a position to where in a panic situation. And so that poise helped us. I think these guys feel the same way defensively. They have poise even when the Colts were threatening. They still had the poise. They still didn't make silly plays. They didn't have the huge plays. They made them still work for it offensively. But that defense, to me, they're always poised to explode at the right time.
They only had one really bad play defensively, and that was the 45-yard completion that set up their only touchdown until the third quarter. Mm-hmm. So,
I saw your boy Diggs peeping around the corner.
He did peep.
He was peeping around the corner.
He was playing a slant, wasn't he?
I mean, out of the huddle, he was 5 yards inside. So you have a veteran quarterback. He looks over there. Okay, he's obviously playing the slant. He didn't even have to give him a good inside move.
See, I thought when I re-saw that play, I thought they were in zone and he was supposed to be inside because he was so far inside, and then he jumped inside.
I'm sorry. It's funny because that is just typical greed by a defensive back. He just got greedy. I thought it was, he felt like he could do it.
Aside from that play, you never even saw Diggs in that game.
No.
That entire game.
And he was fouling.
They never threw his way. And Michael Pittman, until the very end of the game, you never saw Michael Pittman, really.
That's what I was going to say. He was covering Pittman. Yeah, absolutely. So, it was, all's well that ends well. and they continued to
It
play.
ended very
so that's
well.
good.
I mean, we're talking defensively as well, but, I like to give credit where credit is due. CeeDee Lamb is trying to become that leader on this offense. And at a young age, he's going to have to do it. And he's doing well. What is the last at least 3 games? And it's not just the yardage. It's the extra things that he's doing. I see him trying to break tackles more. He's not trying to be cute. He's out there playing a real man's football game. And that's what I saw in Oklahoma, and he's finally showing it here. Can't be cute out there. You got to ball out, and he is doing it. I like it.
So they have held their opponents now 9 of 12 times to no more than 20 points. You should have a chance to win when you do that. That's why that first game still sticks in my craw. Held Tampa Bay to 19 points. Got beat.
Did you watch Tampa Bay last night?
I did not.
I fell asleep at 17.
I hope you woke up with 3 minutes left.
No, I fell asleep with 17-3, and I woke up and it was over. And I go, what are they talking about? This game was over a long time
It was
ago.
16-3.
16, yeah.
Yeah, because last 3
17.
minutes, the last 3 minutes of that game, wow.
Typical.
The roof caved in, huh?
Well, I mean, about time they beat them. Jeez.
That's true. That's true.
They have a streak going against Brady.
It's the first time in the regular season in Tom Brady's career that he has come back from a deficit of more than 13 points or 13 points or more in the fourth quarter to win a game.
That's it?
Yep. One other time in his career he has done it. That was in a Super Bowl.
I was going to say, it had to be a Super Bowl.
In Atlanta.
Yeah.
That's right.
The guy.
It's like the Aikman deal. When Aikman was playing.
Yeah, when you're always ahead.
And everyone's talking about all these great John Elway comebacks. And, well, if you're ahead all the time, you don't
who cares
have
about
opportunities
coming back? That's
for
right.
comeback wins. But so Tampa Bay is sitting there by winning that game. They're 6-6 now, and they're in command in the AFC South. Devastating. By the way.
Command.
They are.
I wouldn't use 6-6.
But that's it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I would.
Two-game lead on everybody, if not more.
Check out how devastating that loss was for New Orleans.
Yeah.
You aren't even thinking New Orleans. New Orleans doesn't have a chance to make the playoffs. All right. But they're sitting there last night, okay? They come into that game, and they are, 4-8 on the season, okay? Yeah. Tampa Bay is 5-6 on the season. Atlanta 5-8. Carolina 4-8, okay? If they win that game, they are 5-8, tied with Atlanta at 5-8 in second place in the division, a half game behind Tampa Bay, which is at 5-7, okay? But because Tom Brady throws a touchdown pass with 3 seconds left in that game and comes back from that 13-point deficit in the fourth quarter, instead, they're 4-9. Instead of being a half game behind Tampa Bay, they are now 2.5 games behind Tampa Bay and have no chance in that division.
It's kind of hard to believe at 5-8 you still have any chance.
Exactly. And that's how crazy it is. But as crazy as that is, here they are. If they just hold on for 3 more seconds, they are a half game out of first place in a division.
I can take you back to 1990.
Mm-hmm.
Cowboys had a chance the whole way.
I heard about
even
that.
at 7-9.
Mm-hmm.
Who was quarterback in that game?
Which one?
The last one.
The last
one, yeah.
I think it was Babe, right?
Babe.
Yeah, you know it was Babe. I think it was Babe. You know it was Babe.
Actually, it was the last two games. Yeah, but you know what? No one else showed up for that game either.
Yeah.
It was in Atlanta. It was raining.
I heard about that.
It was cold. I don't know if anybody wanted to play in that game.
Anybody playing in that game is now a Power 5 head coach?
Yeah. Colorado.
That's right. Dion. Why are you shaking your head, Everson?
I'm not going to say.
We might be able to get you a defensive back coach.
No, you won't. Not in Colorado. No, you won't. They probably have me out there just cold out there smoking a bunch of weed. Just laying down all day trying to stay out of the snow.
It's a recruiting bonus.
With the weed?
Yeah.
That is funny.
Right?
I never thought about that.
It's legal.
That lets you know I'm now old.
Yeah.
The fact that that's a recruiting bonus.
So, transfer portal, it opened up yesterday.
You know what's happening.
Yeah.
He's taking anybody named Sanders is going with him to Colorado.
Oh, Shador is
including his
he's
daughter.
a starting quarterback.
Well, including his daughter.
named-
Including his daughter. She'd probably go with him as well.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're just getting started on this edition of Mick Shots. I think there was a contingent of Cowboys and potential future Cowboys.
Did you
one
go?
singular, that was at the Mavericks game last night, and we'll discuss that when we come back in just a moment.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
We paid how much for those lessons?
Shh, she's doing great.
Oh, yeah, totally. Can you pass me a Pepsi Zero Sugar? Great job, honey! Oh, look at that. That's not the end.
No way. Now it's time for the encore.
You know what? You're right. 5 times? Not enough times.
For everyone who traded in rock concerts for their kids' recitals, you've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar. That's what I like.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. You hear that? I'm a torrential downpour. Torrential? What's that even mean? It means you can't see out of your windshield. And if you have the wrong car insurance, you might have to make it rain to fix your bumper. So switch to Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
What do you call a group of grown men and women with their faces painted silver and blue who get together every week to share a 3-hour-long ritual of jumping, singing, and toasting Miller Lite in 10-gallon hats while yelling, "How about them Cowboys?" You call it Miller Time in Dallas. Here's to the Cowboys. Here's to the original light beer. It's Miller Time. Celebrate responsibly. 2021 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
Back to Mick Shots.
Cape Post Roofing and Waterproofing, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys. From corporate homes to your home, have your roof checked by choice, not by chance. Call now, 214-225-4860, capepostcompany.com.
So, how much do you think OBJ enjoyed his trip to the Mavericks game last night with Micah Parsons and Trayvon Diggs?
I bet he had more fun in Dallas than he had on any of those other trips. Let's just say
You don't think in Buffalo he didn't get
in Buffalo he did not go to an NBA game and have the fans chant OBJ, OBJ.
Right? Mm-hmm. So does that lower his asking price?
Nope.
Because he's appreciated?
I'm pretty sure he would raise it considering the support he thinks he has.
So,
yes.
Did you go and get your
I was not there.
Cameras there?
I was not there.
Okay.
But yes. So
did the walk and talk down in the hallways?
I was not there, no.
Okay.
No. He did not say much.
No, he did not.
Although he did tell Tim McMahon of ESPN, McMahon reported that well, maybe I'll find the tweet before I say. This was during the game. During the game, or he went over and said something to him or whatever. Let me find McMahon's tweet so I get it right, exactly what he's tweeted.
We do appreciate accuracy on this show.
That's right. Yep. Where is it? Tim said, I asked OBJ what the Cowboys' chances are of signing him. It's a good possibility, Odell said with a $1 million smile.
Well,
so give us more, Mickey.
Did you listen to Jerry this morning?
You tell us what Jerry is saying.
He basically said what we've been saying here on our show for quite some time, that there's still a lot of things to be considered, including health, when he's available to play, And then
I'm sorry. I was looking at the celebration.
that was. I didn't think I said anything funny.
I'm sorry, Graham. That's fine.
And comes down to finances. So it's pretty. I think it's still pretty cut and dried, And there may be a little of what Jerry talked about, because he sounded like the voice of reason this morning, that he was putting a little doubt in OBJ's mind about how much I will pay you, because I've got other things to consider. So, and he didn't say this, but he was thinking it. You remember when Jerry says when you sign a player to a big contract, how many players does that preclude me from signing? Like, if I sign him, does that mean I can't sign 2 other guys? And I think the medical people and the personnel people he listened to them and basically said, okay, we got to decide when he can play. And he also went to the point of saying he's got to play this year.
Okay, and here are the specific quotes that Jerry had on the fan this morning.
See how well I did.
Okay,
you did well.
we had pretty extensive meetings yesterday. We spent quite a bit of time together. I enjoyed every minute of it. We'll get back together today and see where we go from here. A lot of variables. It has to fit for both parties. On being confident in a player he hasn't seen work out, he said, I'm not confident at all. That's the issue. We've got a good bead on that. We've got a great read on his career. It all has to be addressed, and that's when you see if you can make a deal or not. He had a long pause before responding when asked if OBJ has given any indication that he thinks he can play this year. Okay, long pause. I'm going to kind of keep that one at bay.
That was very dramatic, Bill.
Thank you.
I like that. It was crazy.
It's like he was doing a reading for a play.
I got chills.
Right?
I got chills. But no, that sounds good to me. I mean, you got to be smart. We're outscoring teams by a lot of points.
All right, Everson, let's say he's ready to go, okay, and they sign him today, how long before he would play in a game, even if he's ready to go right now? How long would it take?
Yeah, if I have not seen him work out, then we're going to do the ramp up. We're going to stick with what we do. There's no need.
What they always do with every player that comes in here. There's a ramp up time.
There's no need in panicking right now. Why should we panic? We're right where we need to be. So therefore, even looking at that without seeing him work out, looking at all of that, then I'd be just as coy as Jerry's being right now.
Well, think about
it. If he hadn't shown me, if I haven't seen him work out, then I can't go with confidence saying when we go to the playoffs or he's going to make a difference in this particular game against the Eagles or the Titans. If I can't say with confidence he can make a difference in that game, then I'm going to be coy just like that. And we're doing well, bro. How you doing? How you doing, bro? You good over there, OBJ? Well, because we good over here. I can't see us panicking. It's all cute, and he's having a great time. I think he's a great guy from Texas, if I'm not mistaken. And so all of that's good. But, man, we are in the driver's seat. We are in the – I don't care even what happens next week with the Texans. We're still in the driver's seat in regards to our wide receivers, in regards to our passing game.
Because obviously no one's made him an offer to preclude him coming here for the interview. And he may have said, well, I'm going anyway.
Meaning at Buffalo or the Giants
Buffalo
last
or the
week.
Giants, right?
He's from New Orleans.
He likes the tour.
By the way, he's from New Orleans.
I thought he was from Tyler.
No, high school in New Orleans.
Yeah,
it's high school.
Yep.
Go back.
So
born in Baton Rouge.
Oh, I thought he was from Texas.
Does that change whether you want him or not?
No.
Yeah. we don't.
You want any players that played college ball in Louisiana, do you?
I know.
So here's
he looks different from me now since he's not from Texas. He looks different.
And if he's looking for a long-term deal, which means he wants a signing bonus, I'm giving him a moving bonus. That's it. And then the contract's going to be structured as a per-game roster bonus. You play this game, you make $15,000, or however the amount is.
Yeah, that's the tricky part on it is not is structuring a contract
Right.
that takes into account what he's able to actually do this year.
Right, absolutely. And for next year, if it's a 2-year deal, the likely to be earned will be very few games because that's based on how many games you played the year before. Like if you played 13 games last year and you had likely to be earned this year, then 13 games of the 17 will count against the cap immediately. But if you've played only 5 games and then the next year you get the likely to be earned is only 5 games, that charges against the cap and the rest of it ends up getting paid the next year. So against the cap, you get the money, but against the cap. So that's what's important. It's not, I heard somebody say, Jerry's just got to open up his pocketbook or his checkbook. And it's like, no, it's the Cowboys checkbook. Because you've got guys, and we've talked about it, you got to sign next year. I was glad to hear that it sounds like they're all being very sensible about this.
Yes, that's what I like.
Yeah.
Being sensible. Because right now, he's having a good time.
Yeah.
It's like being recruited out of high school. You know what I mean?
So from Odell's standpoint, all right, he wants a multi-year contract. But if he doesn't have the money he thinks that he should get for next year, does it behoove him at all, Everson, to go ahead and sign for this year, show what he can do, and then if he balls out like he did with the Rams in the playoffs last year, then he's more marketable as a free agent in March?
Well, if you're going to be marketable, then you better show him what you can do. And he just hadn't shown anything.
So here's my point on that. If he doesn't play for anybody right now, how marketable is he in March compared to if he plays in the playoffs for any of these teams and plays well?
He's got to show something this year.
Because
his value will go down the older he gets. And the more he can't keep shrouding the mystery. Eventually, you got to get out there and sweat. The tour is great, but you got to get out there and sweat. You hadn't showed me anything.
Yeah, but the risk is if he's not ready now, then the risk for him is not playing well. And then
if he's not ready now, then he's not going to look better in March.
That's right.
And if he's not ready now, he's not going to play. They will not put him on the field.
That's it.
Right?
And from his own standpoint, if he thinks he's not ready now, then he shouldn't.
Then he should just basically
wait until March.
Wait till March.
It sounds like he's just milking this for as long as he can milk it.
See what he can get now and weigh that against what he might be able to get in March.
And plus, he seems like he's in part of his life. Let's be real, guys. This is a social, it's a social thing. Online stuff and all of that. That's what he's, doubling up on. Okay, of course, yes, he's Odell. And he knows eventually he's going to have to show something. But in the meantime, his marketing team is working 24/7, doing whatever they do for him.
See, he's almost got a better chance of hooking up with a team that's not desperate. Somebody that's out of the thing, and they're saying, okay, we're going to sign you, but we'll have you for next year, right?
Is he thinking this way, though? Okay, but if I get with the Cowboys,
well,
or if I get with Buffalo,
right,
which had a chance to go all the way to the Super Bowl,
right,
and then I play well, and aside from this contract, my marketing ability, endorsements and stuff kick in as soon as Super Bowl's over.
But his point several weeks ago was, I want a long-term deal. I want to go somewhere where I don't live out of a suitcase, and
that's what he said.
And buy a house.
That's what he said. He wants to go somewhere where he can buy a house and settle down.
Well, I can't do that. Play unseen. I can't offer that. And Nate Newton must have hit a raw nerve.
We did. I love it.
He got something to say.
May I speak?
Yes, sir.
Gentlemen of the table.
The floor is yours.
Gentlemen of the table, listen to this here. If this guy does not play this year, he has to come and work out for someone next year.
Right.
Got to.
He had all leverage leaves. The last bit of leverage he has is when the last game is played in this regular season, and he's not on somebody's team. Then next year, like you guys have said, he is whatever age
30.
And you have not worked out
What's his
for
age?
anyone.
He turned 30 November 5th.
Yeah. Oh,
30 or
and I don't care who pump him up and who think he's the greatest dude in the world, which I think he's a great big-time player. But if he does not play this year,
his value goes
down. If you say, oh, man, we're going to bring you in, every gym will bring you in, but, hey, we need a workout. He's going to have to work. Oh, man,
you have to sweat. You got to sweat, bro.
You know,
you got to see some sweat.
I'm Lyndon B. Johnson, this president or this president. No, it ain't working, homie. You the president now. You won't be the president next year. You'll be another guy that's in the mix. So, you know, I mean.
And that's the way the contract will be structured.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. See, I listened to Mr. Jones. We were at the stadium, and he said, a young lady asked me, will you be uncomfortable? Yes, I will be uncomfortable trying to sign him without working him out. But understand, I like for both parties to be uncomfortable. I don't do Jerry speak or Mr. Jones speak, but that he clearly told Mr., you know, whatever y'all call him, Odell Beckham, because I don't know all the initials.
OBJ.
Whatever it is.
Not LBJ.
Yeah, whatever it is. This great player that we're talking about, not to disrespect him, because I don't want him to come out of this camp that we're disrespecting him. No. But by Mr. Jones saying that, a lot of people want to ignore that because that wasn't hype. But he's telling this young man.
That's the most sensible I've ever heard Jerry talk about something like that.
You're going to feel uncomfortable too, because if we sign you, you're going to feel uncomfortable. And I promise you, what they're saying is, even if we give you $15 to $20 million a year, if you miss any games, we're gonna get a chunk of that back. Mr. Jones, one thing about him now, he'll excite the crowd, and he's a marketeer, and he's the best thing since Ringling Brothers, but he ain't no dummy.
That's why he's got so much money. Right?
Yeah. I don't know why he got so much money, but I want some of it.
Well, it's because because he's not a dummy.
Yeah. It just amazes me that, first of all, everybody I've talked to who was close to him, Brady James, Broadus knows a lot about this kid. Just people in general that come from the LSU makeup. And I understand that they're alumni and they all band together. But a lot of guys, by saying what they're saying in a positive light, don't want to lose their credibility too. So this kid is a great asset, you know, to the point where you throw him 5 targets, and I heard somebody else say this, where he'll catch for 3 first downs, but that 4th one will be for a 67-yard bomb out of one of the greatest red zone plays you ever seen. Yeah, but will you see that this year? Okay, we got 5 games left. Am I correct? How many games we have left?
5. Yeah.
5. You ramp him up for 2.5, 3. So now we got 2 games left. Now you got to get him in the game, and you can't mess around. You got to throw him the ball.
Yeah.
You got to get him and Dak on some type of wavelength. So you got to throw him the ball, Everson. Disagree or agree?
No, they have to have some type of rapport going into the playoffs. Yes.
And so now you go to your first playoff game, you can't be messing around. You got to throw him enough balls where the defense will be like, ooh, he's back. He's back. Because if you don't, they're going to sit out there and make you prove it. This is the NFL now. This ain't Texas OU at the state fair now.
You saw those cornerbacks for the Colts, right?
Yeah, they ain't gonna be scared of you. So if you go out there faking and shaking, they gonna know. You know, so they gonna back up and say, okay, until you throw it to him, we gonna take CeeDee Lamb out the game. Like Everson said, this dude is growing by leaps and bounds. You can say what you want, Bill. You can say what you want, Mickey. And I know me and Everson feeling this. That dude don't want what is his name? OBJ.
OBJ.
You know, he probably calling it SOB. You know what I'm saying? But I'm go. Y'all be good.
Hey. Yeah, that's a good one, Nate.
Yeah.
Hey,
have a good one.
He don't want no questions. There you go.
You
Drop the mic,
baby.
Drop the mic.
You don't want to talk about Deion?
I talk about Deion all day.
There you go. There you go.
I mean, if y'all want me to.
I want you to.
All right.
We'll do that in the next segment.
Okay.
One more thing,
Sit
though.
tight.
Producer Supreme mentioned Des Bryant to me in my ear. I don't know if he said it on the air when we were talking about OBJ. Des Bryant, okay, 2018. His birthday, November 4th. OBJ's is November 5th.
Oh, my wife's 5th.
Okay. Des Bryant in 2018 just turned 30 years old. Remember, he signed with the Saints and he injured his Achilles,
Yes.
whatever. Did not play and then played the next season and then wrapped up his career with Baltimore in 2020, whatever. Exact same age as what OBJ is right now. All right, let's talk Dion with Nate from Frisco in just a moment here on Mick Shots.
We paid how much for those lessons?
Shh, she's doing great.
Oh, yeah, totally. Can you pass me a Pepsi Zero Sugar? Great job, honey! Oh, look at that. That's not the end.
No way. Now it's time for the encore.
You know what? You're right. 5 times? Not enough times.
For everyone who traded in rock concerts for their kids' recitals, you've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar. That's what I like.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. You hear that? I'm a torrential downpour. Torrential? What's that even mean? It means you can't see out of your windshield. And if you have the wrong car insurance, you might have to make it rain to fix your bumper. So switch to Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
The season is finally here. For months, we've been gearing up to win. Now it's time for the team that performs on any field, United Ag and Turf. With John Deere zero turns for mowing, compact tractors for loading, mini excavators for digging, Gator utility vehicles for hauling, implements for grading, hay tools for baling. United Ag and Turf, for winning. The official Ag and Turf equipment supplier of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com for more.
Back to Mick Shots.
This December, the only thing hotter than the Dallas Cowboys will be the endless Cowboys Nation gift options. Visit your local pro shop or log on to shop.dallascowboys.com, a Fanatics experience, and give the gift of the star this holiday season.
Okay, Mickey pointed out in the break we didn't answer the question that I posed. When would be the earliest that OBJ or LBJ could play? And Mickey, you say even if he's healthy right now, ready to hit that practice field, running right now, the earliest would be?
After Christmas.
Tennessee.
To me. And to
it's
think,
the most wonderful time of the year.
Tennessee Christmas.
And think about it, because Mike McCarthy pointed out on Monday that there's no padded practices this week.
Mm-hmm.
So that was in reference to Tyron Smith.
Right.
Because he said he has to have a couple padded practices before we play him. Well, then if he starts practicing on Wednesday, this week's out. So now you've got 2 weeks. He said a couple, one in each week. That's 2.
Gets you to Philadelphia.
That gets you to Philadelphia at the earliest, right? Because it could be Tennessee too.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Nate, how's Dion doing?
He's doing great. They paid for Dion, and I would just hate to be one of those kids at Colorado. Here come the great Deion Sanders walk in and say, the first words, hello, gentlemen. Hey, Coach. Hey, Coach Brian. I'm here to make you quit. Can you imagine the parents that saying, wow. And then the next thing
they're all excited on Saturday night. They're all excited. We got Dion. Dion's coming here.
And then before that, he got his press conference, and he talking about his son, his oldest son, Junior. Hey, this is the guy that handles my social media and the profanity today. He's responsible for that. And, I want to introduce y'all quarterback, my son. There was some people hot about that. Yeah. But I called Dion this morning, and he responded promptly. He was on the field, getting to get guys ready for the game in Atlanta for his last game at Jackson. Mm-hmm. And And he said, I expected all of that. And he said, but I know what I'm looking at, and it's nothing better there. If they were that great, they wouldn't have called Deion.
Mm-hmm.
And so
same thing's going on other places.
Yeah.
Oklahoma had 5 or 6 guys enter the transfer portal yesterday, and it wasn't because they wanted to enter the transfer portal. I guarantee you the coach told them, you saw what you did this year, it wasn't enough. In your own best interest, there's a transfer portal. See ya.
It's so funny because we as NFL staff and members over there are starting to adapt a lot of the college ways of how they run their offenses. Mm-hmm. But it's amazing how college coaches are turning into NFL coaches with their, because they got a Turk, like we always have for years and years, the Turk. Now they have a Turk. Son, Porter is the best thing for you. We going a different direction. Right. These kids are getting a quick wake-up call.
Yes, they are.
Those scholarships are one-year deals.
They've always been that way, right. But now
more than ever.
Yeah.
It's business now, bro. It's business.
Deion it's 40-40-20. 40% portal, 40% graduation. Kids that already graduated.
Talking at Jackson State?
At everywhere.
Okay.
40-40-20. And 20% if you can get a top 150 kid. If you fall 159, 151, you might as well get into a junior college. Mm-hmm. And get in there as quick as you can so you can show yourself worthy. Mm-hmm. And because it's 40-40, if we can get 40 out of the portal, 40% of grad transfers, hitting that prime prefer them more than anything. He wants close to the grown men as he can get.
Yeah, right.
So it's ugly. He's excited about it. And just talking to him, man, I just feel bad for what he's leaving.
Yes.
What he's built, what he's put in place. It's no Deion. Mm-hmm. I don't care who you bring behind him. If you ain't bringing Nick Saban, because that's bigger than Deion in this world, who do you bring?
Because he got him back to where Jackson State used to be.
Yes.
Right?
And so he's taking 4 or 5 kids with him. And
Jackson State has never been as successful as they are with him.
Yeah.
As they have been with him.
Yeah, even when Walter Payton was there.
Yeah.
They had good players.
I don't think they were winning championships.
I don't think they exactly.
See, the thing that's, I had a couple of people text me, hey, tell Deion, call me, he don't want the Colorado job and it's too cold and it's this and it's that. And my answer to everybody is this right here. I don't have to step in one high school ever as a college coach. Them days are over. Unless you are a top 25 kid, I ain't wasting my time flying to get you to develop you. The portal opened up and kids are calling coaches because their moms and dads and friends are doing that homework. Hey, man, they ain't got 2 guards over here. You may want to call such and such, such and such. Mm-hmm. And this goes to the black colleges as well as the Power 5 colleges.
Age of information.
It's coming, man.
Look at Sonny Dykes.
Yeah.
Sonny Dykes did it at SMU. When he got the SMU job, he put Dallas on their jersey.
Yeah, yeah.
And he got his coaches. They looked at rosters all across the country. Every Dallas kid across the country, those are guys that we're picking up in the transfer portal. Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna tell you who's.
And he did the same thing at TCU now.
You know who's hurting because he thought he was getting ahead of the curve? Is my man at Texas A&M. He built this big old deal so he can recruit the top high school kids. Okay, go develop them so you can say they can run off everywhere else. I'm being honest.
Had 10 of them in the transfer portal yesterday.
It is so. If you want to be a university known for developing folks, and you just send out an insurance clause, hey man, I'm gonna develop this kid for you here at my college, and we'll send them to you because that's what you're doing. If you don't get a top 150 kid, what are you doing? I mean, it ain't like me and you, Everson, coming out of the college draft and being missed, but somebody knew who we were. That ain't happening in college no more. That ain't happening.
They know everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
So why was Colorado a fit for him?
because it's about power, Mick. It's about, do you have a quarterback? And if you don't, can you get a quarterback? And what can I really run? Because and I'll use Alabama since everybody knows about the great Nick Saban. You got to understand who Alabama was when they had the great Bear Bryant and how he built a culture there. But once he left, the alumni became the culture, like Texas. The alumni is the culture. And when the alumni become the culture, this is what we got to have from our coach. He loses all sense of power. Yeah. If he puts something in place that we can't do that at this time. Well, we can't practice at this. We can't. No. Your coach has to have full authority to take, okay, if we get fined for this, or if something go wrong for this, okay, I can take it.
You know what? I saw an interview, it was a couple months ago, and it was with Lane Kiffin.
Yes.
And he said the exact same thing. He goes, coaches used to have one boss.
Yes.
He says, now I've got 15 bosses because I got to answer to the alumni.
Yeah.
They're my bosses now. And he was right, because that's what's controlling things.
Mm-hmm. One of Nick Saban's most famous speeches was one of the biggest, most powerful boosters. He went to a gathering. You know how a new coach come in and he go to different areas because they have all these big steak dinners, I guess. You know, these $1 million steak dinners.
That's where you can talk about Jimbo Fisher and say that they got the
and so
best recruiting class money can buy.
And so
which is what happened.
When they asked Coach Saban, they said, Coach Saban, when are we going? How far are we out from national championship? He looked the dude right now and said, first of all, we got to win a game. You asking me about a national championship, and these guys can't even win a game? He said, check back with me, I'll let you know. And that insulted this big dog. But he let him know. This is how things are going to be ran. And so when the athletic director would try to set up something, he would veto it before he even say anything. And he gave the athletic director, this is my schedule for me and my players. Fit it around it.
Wow.
Yeah. See, when you got that type of power, then you are running things. You know, but when you got to be, hey, AD, okay, I want to do something on December 30th. Can we get it done? Well, the alumni don't want to hear that in the middle of the season. Well, and the coach said, well, remember when I tried to get the kids to practice, y'all wanted to do this? They'd be like, man, you gone. Mm. You should have took control. And that's why I believe that if I was to ever coach anything or to boss anything, and I give you a perfect example, my wife. I said, baby, do you want to help me with this? She say no. She know right then I don't need no more. You have no authority, no more. If you want to help me, I'm listening. If you don't want to help me,
stay out of it.
Stay out of it.
Right.
And that's how it got to be.
Do you think Deion will have that kind of, autonomy?
If it don't, it won't be that long.
Yeah.
He won't be that long because they won't even have to ask him to leave. He'll find a way to leave.
Oh, no, he'll be out of there.
Yeah,
he'll
find a way to leave.
I think he's got a good AD, one who thinks outside the box.
Yeah.
Rick George, he was with the Texas Rangers prior to Colorado, and he was on the.
So he know how to entertain.
Yeah, PGA Tour before that and stuff.
Right.
So
and
he understands celebrity.
I can give you a hands-on example of just what you're talking about. When I was in Jackson covering Ole Miss, the alumni, after Johnny Vaught left, right, the alumni took over.
Now, who is Johnny Vaught now? You got to help me there.
Johnny Vaught was the guy that won big time at Ole Miss.
Okay, Johnny Vaught.
Johnny Vaught.
I just remember Jackie Sherrill. Is that the same?
with Archie Manning.
Okay, with Archie Manning. All right.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Okay.
From 1947 to 1970.
He better going back to grand folks.
Yeah.
And they all thought that's the way things needed to be when the new coach came in. And it wasn't. And by the way, that was before they allowed black players at the university.
Right.
So now with with integration, it was like they were way behind everybody else. And it's like, well, we won with Johnny Vaught Why can't we win now? Right?
Because now you're coaching against the Barry Switchers of the world.
Now you got a problem.
Alabama went through
Bad Brian went there real quick.
They did.
That's right. Yep. All right, we're way out of time.
Way out of time.
Yeah, but this was real good.
This was fun.
Extra time.
And by the way,
this is the best Tuesday ever.
By the way, Dion in Colorado opened the season in Fort Worth.
Oh,
no way.
Against TCU.
Oh, man. Wow.
And that game, I guarantee you, will be in prime time.
Especially if TCU does something in the playoffs.
I hope they do.
I do
as
too.
much as I'm rooting for Michigan, I'm so glad the committee let them in, and I'll be glad if the committee start with 12 teams as quick as they can, because it is so bad to fight that hard and to get to the championship game and lose and get kicked out.
We got one more year of this nonsense.
Yes,
and then they go
and
to
then
12 teams
let
in
everybody in,
2024.
man.
Yeah.
Even Missouri have a shot.
That's right.
Yeah.
Missouri. It took 5 downs, but hey.
Missouri's scared of playing Kansas in the Liberty Bowl.
Don't bring that up, Nate.
Transfer portal is open.
All right, and we'll chat at you again tomorrow on Mick Shots.
Go Cowboys.
The best.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!